come to you, will come to everybody else. It is natural to feel sorry. It is natural to grieve. It is natural to feel the pain for as long as you live. But at the same time, one must also move on with one's life, and one must do what one can for the living. As for the dead, there's a lot that you can do. There's a lot that you can do for those who have moved on. First and foremost, make a lot of dua for them. You say that you feel grief with your mother. Alhamdulillah, that is good. Every time you feel grief, raise your hands up to Allah and make dua that Allah increase her status in Jannah, forgive her sins, make her grave a vast place. Secondly, make istighfar for her. Say, may Allah forgive my mother. Increase in your istighfar. Thirdly, give charity on behalf of your mother. You go to the masjid, you pay £5, £10 to the orphans, to the poor people, and you say, oh Allah, reward my mother for this money. Don't reward me, reward my mother. Fourthly, you should go for Hajj and Umrah on her behalf if you've done Umrah and Hajj for yourself. If you have done Hajj for yourself, you may go Umrah and Hajj on behalf of your mother. If you haven't, you must first do it for yourself, then go on behalf of your mother. That's one of the biggest things that you can do. Fifthly, you can also do a qurbani, an udhiyah, a sacrifice for her. And what this means is that you sacrifice an animal in the name of Allah. You say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, and then you take the meat and you distribute it to the poor, and you say, oh Allah, reward my mother for this udhiyah, this qurbani. And the Prophet ﷺ also said, you may visit, or you should visit, the friends and the relatives of your mother whom she would visit. But now that she's gone, she's not visiting them, you should in her stead basically visit her circle of friends and her circle of relatives. As for reciting the Quran for the dead, this is something that the scholars of the past have discussed. The majority have allowed it, and some have said that it should not be done. And inshallah, there's no problem if you actually do recite the Quran for the dead, but at the same time, you have said that you recite a particular surah 11 times. These types of details are not mentioned in the sunnah, so we should avoid these details. If you wish to recite, the majority of scholars allow recitation. You simply recite the Quran individually. You don't gather the people together. Individually, if you recite the Quran and you ask Allah to reward the deceased, the majority of people, including the famous scholar Sheikh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah ta'ala, he allowed this to be done, but you don't need to repeat a surah any number of times. And so in what I have mentioned, inshallah, there is enough for you to do for your mother. And may Allah Azza wa Jal bless your mother and bless all of us in this world and the next.